I don't know why Marvel likes reshooting films so much. Captain Marvel, Quantum Mania, and now Captain America Brave New World have all undergone reshoots. And I think reshoots have hurt these films more than they've helped. I can speculate why this happens. Over the years, Marvel has grown in size, so we have a lot more executives sitting down and watching films and adding their own 2 cents, which the filmmakers have to write, they have to shoot, and they have to put into the film. I clearly know everything there is about making films because I have exactly zero experience making films. But in my mind, that's how things played out, and that's how they ruined Marvel for us. Also, Carl Lumbly, who plays Isaiah Bradley in this film, voiced Martian Manhunter for DC all those years ago. I just thought it would be interesting to know. But I guess no one is really interested in this. I have a problem with legacy characters in comic books. When they brought in a new Superman in the comics, I hated it. I hated it when they brought a new Batman, a new Hulk, a new Thor, a new Captain America. I don't think these heroes need to be replaced. 100 years from now, maybe 200 years from now, you can still have the same heroes working out of the same cities, and I think people will still be reading those stories. I have a whole other problem with characters having hundreds and thousands of stories being told about them, like most superhero stories, but that's a whole other discussion. My point is, legacy characters, in my opinion, are stupid. And one of the things I quite disliked about this film is that there's a new Captain America in town. Look, I know the comics have Sam becoming Captain America after his death, and that sort of works in the comics. But here in the film, Sam hasn't spent enough time being a superhero to warrant an upgrade like that. The filmmakers could have made a much better film if they had let Sam be the Falcon, with Cap Shield. Maybe they could have at most called him Captain Falcon or something. But they turned Sam into Captain America, and they brought in a new Falcon, and I am entirely unhappy with all these decisions. The supervillain is another problem I had. The Thinker. No, wait, that's a DC villain. The Samuel Stearns villain angle. That seemed interesting, sure, but it was ultimately a very tame villain. We've had better villains in Marvel before. Why was he so underwhelming here? And then there's the Red Hulk. I think the film could have been much better had it just been about the Red Hulk battling the Falcon. I don't know if that's something that happened in the comics, but this film could have taken a few liberties from the source material. So I'm thinking it would have been fun to see the Falcon battle the Red Hulk, or it would have been fun to see the Falcon battle adversaries who are much bigger than him, tougher than him, superhumans. That would have made a much better story, and one that fits into the narrative of him coming to terms with the fact that he's become Captain America and that he has to fight such huge adversaries. It fits within the theme of the film. But no, they decided to be lame instead. I don't know why I'm talking about what the film should have been. That's not how fiction works. You're supposed to deal with the story people who wrote the stories made. It's stupid. I shouldn't do that. I still think my idea is good though. There are so many problems with this film, starting with how Japan is portrayed in the film. If you look at what's happening in the world right now, if you look at Japan and you look at America and you see the capabilities of both these countries, it's pretty evident America will put down the Japanese forces in no time. So the film showing the Japanese as antagonists, as people going in and grabbing adamantium from the Indian Ocean against America's wishes, that seems slightly implausible. I realize a man turning into a giant red monster is even more implausible, but that fits the overall story logic of the film. Japan and America as equals in a possible war doesn't seem realistic. Then there's the Hulk. This planet has had a Hulk for so many years, yet no one on the planet has figured out how to stop the Hulk. Nobody has created a device or created some kind of failsafe that will put the Hulk down if he ever loses control. What were all the scientists doing all this while? Why do we need a side character who does exactly what Sam Wilson does, still does in fact? Put on the wings, fly around everywhere and beat up bad guys? Why do we need two Sam Wilsons in one film? I don't understand this torch handover business that superhero movies seem to be obsessed with. Captain America was a great series. They introduced the character in the first film, which was fun. Then they made Winter Soldier, which was a great espionage film. And finally they gave us Civil War, in which all the superheroes fight each other, and that was great. With each film, things got progressively more interesting, but they really dropped the ball on this film. I wasn't too happy with this film, and I'm hoping the next film is a little better. Alright, that's all there is to this video. Have fun, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.